365 days a year. So let's start off with our first question being the Palestinian people. They need our support to rebuild their lives that has been shattered by previous conflicts and ongoing conflicts. Uh, Tell us about this very deepening humanitarian crisis in Gaza.
So, in May 2021, I think the world stopped and we just watched Gaza being pummeled, with airstrikes, following the escalation in violence. It was towards the end of Ramadan. I think it was a complete shock for everybody. And that continued for about 10 days. And in that 10 days, I think to put it into perspective, imagine a strip of land with 2.1 million people with nowhere to go, nowhere to leave, nowhere to escape. All they have to do is endure. And that resulted in, and unfortunately, in 253 Palestinians being killed. And this included 66 children. 2,000 more people were injured. And to make matters worse, you have infrastructure that has been completely destroyed. Major infrastructure, your healthcare centers, your water, homes, schools, major elements of the Gaza Strip were destroyed. And because of the way the situation in Gaza is right now, the blockade is going on for 15 years, the occupation for 67 years. Everything is controlled. Everything has, there's difficulty to help the people of Gaza. And to help them to rebuild means giving them hope because they have very little hope left. So Islamic Relief is in Gaza since 1997. And we have been doing emergency response in times of conflict, like what happened in May 2021, by providing emergency assistance. But we remain. Wherever there is a conflict and we are responding, we remain. And we have remained in Gaza after every single conflict. And we are there to give them long-term, sustainable help, to help them rebuild their lives, to rebuild their homes, to rebuild their schools, to rebuild their communities, because it's the fiber of the communities that are being destroyed. And it's to help them rebuild and start living as much as they can within the restraints that they do have. So our Rebuild Gaza campaign is following our emergency response from the May 2021 escalation in violence. And with this campaign, we hope that the public can come together and support us in rebuilding communities in Gaza.
Inshallah.
Sorry, I think
carry on.
It's 2.1 million people. And 80% of this population of 2.1 million people are living in poverty.
So obviously, Fernaaz, obviously this has a huge impact on the children. What about the children?
I think in any conflict around the world, it's the children that pay the highest price. It's the children that lose their childhood, they lose their families, their sense of normality. I mean, imagine a 15-year-old or a 14-year-old would never know what it is to live outside of a blockade, would never know what it is to live out of the reality of what they have right now. So they don't know what a childhood is. They don't know what is normal life. So right now, there are, at least 373,000 children that, they require specialist psychosocial support. And besides that, they're losing parents, they are losing family members, they are orphans in Gaza that need help. So right now, alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us the ability to take care of over 8,000 orphans in Gaza alone. But there's so many more children. In actual fact, the youth make up 50% of that 2.1, well, close to 50% of the 2.1 million people in Gaza. There are children there that are suffering. There are children there that are growing up not knowing what tomorrow it may bring. They don't, when escalations happen, their schools are shut down. They don't have food. Imagine a 5-year-old child is starting on a school with the COVID pandemic. Everything's changing. Then there's an escalation, right? Then you're picking up your life. You're losing everything that you know. You probably lost a parent even. And this is a reality of so many children in Gaza that have lost so much. And the thing is, it's impacting on their mental health. It's impacting
Fernaaz,
on their growth.
Fernaaz, can I please interrupt you? Your line's very bad. Do you just want to move around a little and change positions because there was a lot of disturbance on your line?
Okay. Is this better?
Brilliant, brilliant. So it's the children, and I also understand that Islamic Relief South Africa are focusing on a very big way on the infrastructure. Another big issue is the water systems and obviously the health system. So talk to us about that.
So, as you know, as I said, there were major damages caused to these structures, these infrastructures. And by providing assistance to rebuild these systems, it gives hope not just to one person, but to entire communities. And right now, the water system in Gaza has been deteriorating. As I said, we're in a blockade. So we have salt water, desalination plants that remove water from that remove salt from the water and make it drinkable for the community. And there's so many issues. There's so many issues that have led to 1.2 million people having reduced access to water. So they may or may not have water. That's more than half of the population of Gaza that don't have access to water. And when we do an emergency response, the first thing that we do is give out food and we give out medical supplies because that's the two main issues that the people of Gaza have. So part of our response in Gaza is to support medical facilities and to provide them with equipment and medication to help them, see to the people of Gaza. And besides being the emergency response, we also do sustainable livelihood. So that means giving them opportunities to create businesses and become sustainable and support their families so that they don't have to rely on us forever. They are independent.
Absolutely.
But what happens in times of crisis is these businesses are targeted. These places are targeted. So we have to go back and teach them again, and we need to do it again. But the goal is to make them sustainable, for themselves.
Alhamdulillah, amazing. And of course, you can't do this on your own. You are dependent on the big hearts and the deep pockets of the Ummah here in South Africa, and I guess all around the world. So, how do donors help? How and which is the best way for donors to assist in this amazing initiative in Gaza?
I think the first thing to do is educate ourselves about what's happening in Gaza. Educate ourselves on the real lives of people in Gaza. And thereafter, ask yourself, what would you do if you were in this situation? So when, you've had that conversation with yourself, with your family, with your friends, then you can go onto our website. You can go onto www.islamicrelief.org.za, or you can call our offices on 0800 111 898, and you can make your pledge and your donation towards people of Gaza, inshallah.
Ameen. This undoubtedly is an ongoing campaign, and I do know that Islamic Relief South Africa and Islamic Relief elsewhere in the world are working tirelessly all over the world trying to uplift impoverished communities. This is really a 365-day operation, is it not?
This is, Islamic Relief, alhamdulillah, we have presence in 40 countries around the world. And our presence in countries in conflict is quite strong, alhamdulillah. And this is, as I said, we don't stop. Once the emergency is over, we remain to rebuild. We remain to help people get back onto their feet and resume a new sense of normality. So, it's being part of the Islamic Relief family globally. It's a place of salvation for millions of people around the world, and it's a place of hope. And people, the community in South Africa, can be part of this hope, can be part of giving, and have that, opportunity to help the next person.
Inshallah. And the best way for people to help, would you point them to your website?
To our website, you can go to www.islamicrelief.org.za. You can visit any of our regional offices in Durban, Johannesburg, Pretoria, Cape Town. And you can go into our social media. You can, interact with us there. We're quite responsive. But there are so many ways that you can, and, what you can do is for the people of Gaza, not really, forget Islamic Relief. For the people of Gaza, you can do something in your community. Go out, raise funds, speak to your family, speak to your friends, get the word out there. Don't forget the people of Gaza, because they're not forgetting the donors that give them hope. So don't
Sure.
forget them when they need you.
Mm-hmm. Fernaaz, it's been lovely talking to you. I can hear that you speak from deep within your heart, and this is very, very close to you and all the people that work at Islamic Relief South Africa, trying to make a huge difference in the lives of the people of Gaza. Uh, Fernaaz, you are the media coordinator, Rebuilding Gaza campaign. Thank you for talking to us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept all of your efforts, the efforts of Islamic Relief South Africa, and everybody who contributes in a meaningful way to make a difference in the lives of the less privileged. Thank you indeed for being with us. Assalamu alaikum to you.
Thank you.
There you have it. Every cent counts. Let's not forget our brothers and sisters in Gaza. Donate now by visiting www.islamicrelief.org.za and know in your heart that you have made a positive difference, that you're making a difference, however small it might be, in uplifting the life of a downtrodden family in Gaza. 9:48 exactly. We are reaching the end of the show this morning. Our final interview is with Christian Adams, a small scale fisher from the west coast of South Africa. So do stay with us.